Interpreting the Film, Eternity from a Buddhist Perspective Part 17. Break out of the maze of troubles. Have you ever had that feeling that you're stuck in some emotion or a thought you just can't shake? Like you're going in circles in a maze? The harder you try to get out, the more lost you feel. Many people have this experience. And today, let's take a deep dive into this fascinating dialogue between a master and his disciples, which touches on exactly this. The master calls it the maze of affliction. What's great about this material is that it doesn't just point out the problem. The vicious cycle the master describes. The more lost you feel, the more anxious you become. The more anxious you are, the more confused you get. And the more confused you are, the more lost you become. More importantly, it shows us how to find a way out, how to regain that crucial state of calmness and clarity that the master keeps emphasizing. The master also shares a moving experience from his youth. He once deeply respected a teacher, but then a misunderstanding about a class assignment led to a powerful surge of emotion. His respect instantly turned into anger, even outright rejection. This sharp reversal shows how easily we can get trapped in a self-made predicament when we are led by powerful emotions and misunderstandings. The master uses the term maze to describe this state. When we lose our composure and are driven by emotions like anger or the terms in the dialogue that I found particularly vivid, vol arrogance or by Lima N. It's that twisted pride of knowing you're not as good as someone else, but refusing to accept it. Even looking down on them. What an apt description. When we are controlled by these emotions, the master says, it's like we've walked into a maze of our own making. The dialogue also uses an example from the movie Eternal. There's a character named Sheng Meng who is so desperate to unlock a chain that he tells his companion, Yu Pa De, to hold her thirst. He's completely trapped in his own frantic urgency, unable to even see the person next to him. So why do we get more and more entangled in this maze? The master repeatedly describes the cycle. The more lost you are, the more anxious you get. The more anxious you get, the more confused you become. And the more confused you get, the more lost you are dot. It truly sounds like a never-ending loop. The master pinpoints the root cause of this cycle: annoyance. Here, annoyance isn't just a vague feeling of being in a bad mood. The master talks about more specific forms, including greed, excessive desire, anger, resentment, and hatred. Arrogance, including the vile arrogance mentioned earlier, doubt and indecisiveness. The master uses a very strong metaphor, calling these annoyances a vengeful bandit out to destroy you or a poisonous snake of affliction. He says these things work to drive us towards self-harm and self-destructs. The master's point is that we get stuck in the maze because we often allow our own annoyance to take advantage of us. We follow their lead, harming ourselves in the process. Calling afflictions a bandit or a poisonous snake is an eye-opener. It suggests that afflictions are not truly us, but rather external forces trying to ruin us. This perspective is important because it implies that we can choose not to listen to them. So, how do we get out? The master's method is straightforward: calmness and clarity. This is the most critical first step to escaping the maze. There's a crucial piece of advice here that goes against our normal instincts. The master stresses that when you encounter a problem, the very first thing to do is not to immediately analyze what's right or wrong, or rush to find a solution. The top priority is to calm yourself down. You need to become calm enough to analyze things rationally, to see the situation clearly and objectively without distortion. Until you reach that state of clarity, the master says, you must not rush to analyze or act. This is truly an interesting point. Our first reaction is usually, oh no, I need to solve this problem right away. But the master says, don't move yet. Think about it. Trying to analyze a situation while you're in a state of emotional turmoil will only make things worse. It's like trying to navigate through a thick fog. The more you rush, the more lost and confused you become. So the master's advice is very clear. First seek clarity, then seek truth. Only when your mind is calm can you see the facts clearly and make sound judgments and decisions. This is a powerful statement, but it's also true that staying calm is much easier said than done, especially when emotions are running high. Doesn't this require practice? The master agrees. He says you must practice. Calmness isn't a natural state. It's a skill you have to intentionally cultivate. So, how do you practice? The master suggests starting by consciously forcing yourself to pause. If your emotions are very intense, you can use an external force, like taking a cold shower or sticking your head in the freezer. Of course, this is a metaphor. The point is to find a way to cut the power on your emotional impulses. The goal is to train yourself to return to a state of clarity as quickly as possible. Whenever an affliction arises, this truly resonates with me. I invite you, the next time you feel anxious, angry, or confused, to reflect on your first reaction. Do you immediately follow that feeling and charge ahead? Or do you try to hit the brakes and give yourself a little space to calm down first? To sum up, from this dialogue, we've learned that the master sees affliction as a trap that lures us into a maze, causing us to lose our way. But the greatest takeaway is that we don't have to stay stuck. By deliberately practicing calmness and clarity, we can regain the ability to analyze things rationally, find our way out of the fog, and stop this cycle of self-destructs. Finally, I want to leave you with a thought inspired by the master's perspective. He compared afflictions to a vengeful bandit out to destroy you. So the next time a strong emotion, an affliction, surfaces, try not to see it as a part of the real you, but as an external enemy trying to harm you. Could this simple shift in perspective change how you deal with it? Perhaps this is also a great way to start practicing calmness.